everybody. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you again this week. It is a chilly Monday morning here in snowy New York. Um, I want to thank you very much for joining me, and what an incredible morning this has been. My cup is just overflowing with some of the most incredible experiences and interactions, confirmations, validations, affirmations, everything that I've received, not just this morning, but throughout the week since I've last joined you. And I'm very, very passionate about what it is that I will be sharing with you in today's live experience. For those of you joining me for the first time, my name is Debbie O'Keefe. I am an intuitive empath, speaker, and writer, as well as a guide of personal transformation, growth, and healing. And what it is that I'm going to be speaking about. Oh my goodness, Michelle, one of the most beautiful soul sister spirits, is with us here today. Thank you so much. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for joining me. Very excited about today's topic, so stay with me. What it is that I am here to speak with you about today is this idea of what it means to really speak and live in our truth, and the absolute dependency that our world, that our desire for peace, that our desire for healing and freedom has on this idea of truly living and speaking in our truth, and what it is that that means. And some of the many common misconceptions of what it is that it says, I'm going to go speak my truth, I'm going to live my truth, and what it is that that means. There are so many teachings of spiritual paradigms, schools of thinking, societal upbringings and ways of thinking that have really, I have to be honest, confused us on what it is that that means. There's so many workshops and personal development things and schools of counseling and training that teach that speaking your truth is about being assertive, standing up for yourself, having empowered boundaries, putting people in their place, finding your no, tapping into your power of creation. And yes, while all of these things are very, they're great to have confidence buildings, when we talk about this idea of living our truth, speaking our truth, this is not about standing up, putting people in their place, telling people off, getting off on, wild diatribes of what it is that, imposing and enforcing your beliefs on other people. And again, when I speak of these experiences, remembering that one thing that I make very, very clear is that nothing I share is from a place of judgment. These are from my own experiences as well. I have walked and fallen into these patterns as well. My pendulum has swung hard, very, very hard in other directions. Most often creating situations that were not what I had intended, and in some cases worsening situations. So this idea of a misconception being that speaking and living in that truth is about swinging that pendulum and having that level of empowerment. But when we think about this idea, the absolute greatest dependency of any kind of peace and healing, and we talk about this change that we want to see in the world. We talk about the change that we want to see in our lives in 2022 and when COVID is over and getting back to normal. What is becoming apparently clear is a very clear need and a reminder for us to come back to the truths of ourselves. So when we speak about this idea of speaking our truth and living our truth, what we are referring to is being honest with ourselves. What it is that we are doing, the role that we are playing in our own suffering, the conflicts that we're having with people outside of ourselves, certain situations and experiences that we're having. And there is so much around this and a real discomfort and a real what I could compare it to is, like not exercising that muscle for a very long time. The accountability and responsibility muscles of this world have become atrophied, in my opinion. Sitting still and stagnant for so long that the muscles have become almost borderline, immobile. And because there's been so much shaming around this idea that if we admit something about ourselves, or we have to admit that maybe we made a mistake or we did something wrong, or we're engaging in a behavior or a habit that is not good for ourselves, not good for others, that it's something to be ashamed of. But I have to say that the one thing that I can go to every single day that is the greatest source of healing and clarity for me is when I am able to recognize that I have slipped, that I have fallen, that I am off track, and bring myself into that place of awareness to admit to myself that I had a responsibility and still have a responsibility to myself and to other people to become aware of that behavior, that choice, that action, those words that are coming out of my mouth, and what my responsibility is to right that, to bring that into focus and into clarity and direction. And I really want to speak about the power, the value, the importance, and the necessity for us as a world, as a society, to be willing to step up in a very comfortable, non-judgmental way, and to really own our side of the street, to really step up and take responsibility for those things. And it can be anything from those things that we are doing to those things that we aren't doing. What I have discovered in my experiences of healing, and still working through experiences with anxiety. So for those who are still working through the experience of anxiety, depression, panic attacks, and other forms of anxiety produced experiences, one of the greatest contributors to anxiety is putting off or avoiding those things that we know we need to take action on. The reason we have that jitteriness and that shaking within us is it is literally a spiritual shaking. It is an earthquake, and a tremoring and a shaking of the spirit to awaken you to those things that you are ceasing or stopping or not taking action on. And I have found that when I am faced with those things that I know I need to do something about, or I really do want to move forward in, but I'm afraid of what might happen, what might not happen, whether or not it'll be received, what people will think of me, if it's going to succeed, if it's going to fail. I start to have anxiety more than I normally would have. I start to get anxious about things that have nothing to do with that situation. I might become more irritable. I might even start to get more tired, unexplicable fatigue out of nowhere. So if you're experiencing any kinds of these sensations, or small things start to become bigger, or all of a sudden you start to realize that you're grabbing things, your to-do lists start getting bigger. Are you maniacally going around the house cleaning? Okay, that's another big one for me. If I start to spiral to get control of things out in my environment, it's because I'm grabbing to get control of my inner environment. But one of the greatest things in terms of what it is, if we have any hope or intention of creating the change that we're looking to see out of the benefit of others, and ourselves, it is to really step into this place of becoming the captains of our own ships, so to speak, okay? And not pointing in the direction of everyone else. We also need to kind of look at that ship sometimes. Sometimes that personal accountability is to look at what it is that we have going on. And if we are riding on that sea, on a boat with a bunch of crew members and passengers that are just jumping on their own life rafts and doing all these other things, and we're trying to take control of a situation that really we are not being supported in, then it is of our personal responsibility to either take control of that ship if it is something that we can do on our own, or to make the decision to really go in a very different direction and to maybe set another course of direction, to find a new crew. Maybe those people are not supporting us. Maybe, we're not finding that connection in the ways that we need it. But whatever direction that is, or whatever situation it is that it presents ourselves, we owe ourselves that accountability and responsibility of always making sure that whatever it is that we are doing, we can step back and know and say that whatever words have been coming out of my mouth, whatever actions I have been coming from, they are truthful to what is important, what matters, what I can be of the greatest service to, how this helps everyone of the greatest way of being. And without that, we can see among us, there is so much around social media, around, I had this incredible discussion this morning about what the world would be like if for 30 minutes a day, we all just put down our phones, okay? While they are incredible, devices of convenience and connection, they're one of the most toxic inventions, I have to say, that have ever been created. So really taking responsibility of how it is that we're living our lives. Own it, okay? And what I have found is needed more than ever, and in this place and time, and what it is that people are lacking that makes it difficult for this stepping into accountability and responsibility and a really empowered way of living. When I talk about coming back into your power, this is not about coming out like a ticking time bomb ready to explode all over the world and to unleash, everything it is that you want to put. It's really stepping into that personal power of knowing that you are in control of the choices you make and the things that you do, and really making conscious decisions and choices that work for you in that way. So I want to invite you in the comments below in this video. I'm going to be providing a link for a community that I have created. It's the My Moment of Truth community. And what this opportunity is for us to come together in a safe place, a very common, nurturing tribe and community and container where we will be taking different life experiences and circumstances and situations and coming into a place of awareness, accountability, and action that is non-judgmental, that is compassionate, and really finding a way that we can come to admission and stepping into honesty and embracing those parts of ourselves in, quite honestly, a very fun way, a very lighthearted way. And it wasn't until I was able to do this and bringing people into a safe place where they felt they could be honest with themselves first, that they could move in a direction that was really not only more positive and productive for themselves, but for others as well. And for the time being, I am opening this opportunity at a lower price point. And if you would like more information on how you can be a part of that, you can click on the link found in this video. And any other questions, feel free to visit me at my website, www.deborahO'Keefe.com. You can also private message me here on Facebook. Reach out, contact me. I'm happy to work with you and help you in any way that I possibly can. And if you resonate with what it is that I've been communicating in this message and you feel called at the very least to share these same sentiments, I am open-hearted and open ears. Please leave your comments in the chat below. I'd love to hear your feedback and what it is that you think. Any contributions that you would like to add to this message to share to others to continue to communicate this message. And also like and share this video on your own wall so that we can continue to deliver these messages of peace with the world around us. And until then, I want to wish you with all my heart endless light, love, blessings, safety, and health to you, all of your family. And I look forward to being with you again next week and Wishing you a fantastic rest of your week. Take care. Great blessings. Be well. Bye.